Hi guys, we're back at Smash Fishing. We are finally back out foraging. After a very long period of heavy rain and wind and small tides, I haven't been able to get out for ages, so this is the start of the really big tides now, so I'm going on a foraging mission. So expect a lot of foraging videos, but today we're going cockling. We're going to go check the boats, make sure they're all good. It's Smash Fishing, baby. Woo! Old crab pot washed up in the storm. Well buried there. Gonna go looking for some cockles today. It's the very start of the big tide, so the tide's not low enough to go for lobsters and stuff like that. So cockles it is. I'm armed with a rake and a new bucket. Hopefully we can get a few. Wouldn't mind a nice little feed of cockles. We're just coming up to my boat now. You can see how much of my chains are exposed. Usually it's like summertime, only about to there will be uncovered. Because we've had more storms, a lot more's come out. Super strong mooring. Got 2-inch thick chains. I've got about 4 or 5 meters there. So big shackles. And I've got 2 ropes. I've got 1 super thick rope, 1 backup rope, straight to my bow. There's the beast in all her glory. She's looking a bit used now, that's for sure. That's what you got to expect with a commercial boat. She's done me proud, this boat. Engine's a beast as well. Shout out Offshore Power. Always look after me with my engines. Right, let's go find some cockles. Lovely, she's nice and dry. Happy days. I bailed her out a couple of days ago, so we haven't had much rain the last couple of days. Lovely job. Let's go find some shellfish. Hey, first cockle of the day. Nice. Hopefully we find a little spot of them now. Because there's not a huge amount here. A nice little crab. Because there's not a huge amount here, you've sort of just got to pick your way through. Another one. Beauty. Nice big cockles down here. That's why I come here. There's not millions of them, but the ones you do find, they're really good size. Nice. There's millions of these little baby ones as well. Tiny little things they are. It's great to see for the future. So I don't do this very often, so I'll rake an area, leave it for a couple of years or a year, and I'll go to a different area, you know what I mean? And you can keep the stock well. Oh, beauty. That's the big busters we want. Almost like a golf ball, that one. As you can see, I'm only raking the first sort of inch and a half of sand. These clams, they don't lie very deep, so it's very easy, and it's not very destructive because you're just moving the top surface of sand, and then by the time the tides come in and out again, it will literally, you wouldn't even know I was here. But we're finding some absolute clonkers at the moment. Roll on the biggies. There's another biggie. Yeah. Nice big cockles. Seems like more into the gravel I've gone, the bigger the cockles are getting. So relaxing doing this. The end of the summertime, you tend to see a lot of sand eels as well, baby crabs, peeler crabs. So much life that just sits around here. We found a good little spot here, just in this little area. I've certainly been picking a few out. Not loads, but I'm happy as long as I get my feed. I only want sort of a pint of them. That's enough for me to make a nice little sauce. These, look at some of them. Some of those are absolute monsters. Beautiful stamp. Biggest cockle of the day right there, look at that. That is a beauty. That's the ones you want. Shame we just don't get loads of them here. But those, it's like a little steak sandwich in a shell right there. Delicious. You can cook cockle in many different ways as well. Yeah, pickle them, you can make a sort of white wine sauce, you could do so much with them. Even boil them up and then just munch them as they are. They're really delicious just on their own. Get a nice sort of salty flavour with them as well. Not finding a huge amount on that spot. Let's see, that's all I've raked. Got about a good handful. Come on, need to find that little lucky spot with loads in. There's so many baby ones around here, look. Just millions of them, little tiny ones. They're everywhere. It's great to see. It's our future population right there. Found a spot here where I'm starting to get a couple now. It's definitely getting a bit better. I've come further up the beach where, because we've had storms, I was thinking they might get washed up, and it looks like that's pretty much what's happened. There's definitely more here than in the middle of the bay. Little baby ones. So therapeutic, this. Just chilling out on the beach, doing your own thing, raking some seafood. Love it, super relaxing. Not as tiring as running over half a mile of rock for a lobster. Can't beat it. Thoroughly enjoy this sort of foraging. Super easy. And you get a nice little meal out of it. Beauty. That's a chunk. That's a proper chunk. Another beauty. Certainly found the spot now. A lot of these little stones, usually when you're raking, you'll hear a little click on the rake, and you'll know it's a cockle. But with this spot, there is so many little tiny stones in it, you can't really go by that, so you've just got to rake slowly and then you'll see them. Good bit of exercise as well. Stretches the back out. It's a good one. Getting some lovely sized ones, that's for sure. They're going to need a good clean up. Starting to find some absolute beauties at the moment. they're all like a really good average size. They've certainly grown over the last couple of years. Look at that, that's like the average size we're getting. And we're getting a few like giants in amongst them as well. Yoink. Feisty little crab, that one, look at that. Don't worry mate, I'm not eating you. Found a nice little sandy spot here. I've been pulling up some beauties. A few of them as well. Starting to get a few now. Very nice. I've almost got enough that I need. I'm going to go mooching in a different spot as well, just to see if there's any more there. But we've only been raking for 40 minutes. We're starting to build up a nice little meal's worth. Gonna have to give them a nice good clean off, and then we're going to purge them. That will get all of that grit out of them. There'll be lovely juicy clams ready for eating. Look at that, beautiful cockle. Gonna get as much of that sand out as we can. So when we get to the open water, I'll give them a proper clean out. So just to get a lot of that sand off for now. That's our deal. Right, I'm going to go for a little walk around the beach, see what we can find. That little baby one just sticking out the sand there, look. Mouth wide open. Seagulls are going to have you, lad, I'll hide you. Get most of that sand out, and we'll give them a wash in the really clean water after. Sometimes they'll have a little anemone on them. I'll see if I can find one, but I didn't see any when I was picking them up. They have a little green anemone on them, so you just take that off, just peel it off. Oh, there's one. There's a little green anemone that sits on them, so I just like to peel that off. Good to go. These are going to be absolutely delicious. What a great average size. Nice big cockles these are. I'm really looking forward to this. Not doing any sort of special cook up, just really simple. Nice delicious little morsels. See, so many shells around here. I think it's because of the storm. The storms washed them out, the sand, and the fish are just swimming around picking them up, and the seagulls as well. Proper little ecosystem in this bay. But the cockles, they spread all the way around the beach, all the way up, just if any locals want to go. You just got to find your own little lucky spots. The cleaner you can get them, the better. I purge mine in salt water. I just leave them overnight, and that's enough to spit the grit out of them. You can do other methods like put oats in the water and stuff like I've heard, but I find just salt water, it works perfectly for purging. I'll show you more of that when I get home later. But for now, I'm just going for a mooch, because sometimes you can find some really big cockles just laying about the beach. So many different types of bird over there. I don't know what they're all called. I know there's oyster catchers, there's seagulls, blackback gulls, there's crows. I don't know what the other ones are. There's quite a lot of different species. Usually I see a lot of seagulls and oyster catchers on this bay. Must be a lot of food around for them. It's lovely to see. Just down at the water's edge here, guys. I want to get some nice clear water that hasn't got sand in it. Just wait for this dust to go past, and then what I'm going to do is get a good amount of water in there, that I'll take home with me to purge them. It's easier said than done with a camera in your hand, but there you go. As you can see, that is super clean. But even in a few hours, that will have loads of grit in it that they've expelled. There's been some fish feeding around here. There's a few little blowholes. That's a big one, that. A little blowhole there. You can always tell by the patterns in the sand. Nice to see some fish around. Time to get the nets out. Back at home now, guys. Got my cooler here and my aerator. There's a pump that will pump oxygen straight into the water, keep them nice and alive. Look at the size of that one. Biggest one of the day right there. But great average. That's enough for what I wanted to do with them. You can already see the sand on the bottom that they're starting to spit out already. But by later on tonight, that'll be way more. So what I do is to keep them cold, put them inside my cooler, get the aerator in there. There we go. It's on a light pump, and that there will keep them nice and cool and well oxygenated. We're back in the kitchen, guys, and look at all the grit in there. There is so much of it. It's amazing how much they expel. They've been purging for about 18 hours now. Yes, that's more than enough. They're all nice and clean. So what I'm going to do is give them a wash off, get all the grit off. We're going to make a nice little white wine sauce and eat them like mules. I've even got myself a nice mules dish. Look at that. How lovely. Upping my game on the cooking, baby. So what I've got smoked sausage, I've got some Chardonnay wine, some Guernsey butter, onion, some garlic. So I'm just going to get it all cut up, ready to go, and we'll start our little sauce. We'll just make those the slits down like so. And we'll have some nice little tiny cubes that will just sweat down, probably disintegrate. We've got a little bit of smoked sausage just to give it that little smoky flavour. I'm just going to roughly chop this one. Just like so. What I'm going to do is just throw that all in the pan, just with some Guernsey butter, and then we'll add our wine in after. How lovely and clean those cockles are. Beauties. It's about perfect amount just for me. I didn't want a huge amount, just enough for a little feed. Haven't had cockles in ages. Delicious. So our butter's starting to melt down now. Once that's melted, we'll get our onions in and our garlic. Our butter's starting to heat up nicely now. So I'm just going to put our onions and our garlic in. And a bit of sausage. I don't want to brown the garlic and the onions off. I just want to sweat them down, just so they go translucent. You can see our onions are sweated down nicely now. So what I'm going to do, add my sausage. Get that little bit of smoky flavour in there. And we got a little dash of sriracha just for a little bit of spice. We've got black pepper. A little bit of sea salt. I'm going to go in with our nice glug of white wine. Beautiful. So I'm just going to let that get up. Just going to let this get to a heat now. And then this is what our cockles are going to steam in. The wine will reduce while the cockles are cooking. And that'll be one big flavour bomb, baby. So all we're going to do with this, just plop our cockles in. Cockles really don't take long to cook. We'll chuck them all in, we'll get the lid on. Now these are just going to pretty much just steam inside of here. There we go. Beautiful. Give them a little shake around and the lid goes on, and we'll come back and check it in 5 minutes. That is smelling absolutely delicious. Can't wait to tuck into this. All of the cockles are nearly open. There's only a few more to go. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. Let that wine reduce a little bit. We're good to go. There's our cockle moules all ready to go. Look at that. That is smelling so good. So what I'm going to do now is just going to put this aside. You can't have moules without a nice crispy baguette. Delicious. Yum. We've got cockles in a white wine sauce. Nice bit of baguette to dip in the sauce. Yum. What a lovely lunchtime snack. I've been looking forward to this. Lovely little picky lunch, this one. Oh, that sauce is delicious. The fine with cockles, a lot of the shells, when you stir them, a lot of the shells will be empty and the meat will be on the bottom. So I tend to just try and get the worst of them gone. And then you can pick through them with the bread after. Beautiful. Dip the bread in, a couple of big cockles on top. Absolutely perfect. Hopefully the rest of the really big tides are more productive. I thought I'd get out on this because it wasn't a very big tide, but it was low enough for me to go out cockling, so I thought I'd get out for a nice little lunchtime snack. And it's very productive. Not a huge amount of cockles in the spot that I go to, but like I say, the average size of them is big, so it's actually worth going. That's so tasty. Getting down to the good bit now. So you start getting all the shells out, and you can start scooping up the sausage, the onions, the cockles, all in one, straight into your bread. There we go. Get your bread and just give it a good old swoop through. Look at that. That's the one. That is so tasty. It really is. You got to try it for yourself, guys. If you've got cockles in your local area or at the any sort of seafood place, highly recommend trying it. Or even do it with mussels. Perfect. Always remember watching Rick Stein with my dad, and he used to cook like this a lot. Simple, but absolutely delicious. So stay tuned for the next episode, guys. I won't leave you watching me eat this delicious meal. So stay tuned for the next episode. If you want any merch, the link's in the description. There's going to be plenty more to come. It's smart fishing, baby. Woo!